Alright, and we're back for the next episode. We have our car frame, we've got our car tires, and now we're going to make a low poly car on it. And again, there is a billion ways to do this, so if you don't like my way, please tell me what you think's better. If you do like my way, great, I'm glad I'm able to help you. Anyways, it doesn't hurt to see what I'm going to do. Let's start with hit Control A. We're just going to break out a cube. You're probably thinking this isn't the best shape to start with for a car, but I am going to prove that it can be used in a really well-made way. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to guess at about the size, of the cab. So I'm guessing about that. Alright, and we'll go hit shift. We will hit faces. We will go to the top face. We'll scale it side to side. It's going to lean in a bit this way. It's going to lean in a bit this way. And we can flip to the other one, and with tab again for we're in non-edit mode, just shrink this down a little bit. It's a little too tall. And we are going to grab the edge, drag that back. So now we have the basic shape of a car. And remember, this is low poly. You want to start easy and gradually get better. Nobody starts off making masterpieces. They start off making low quality. Alright, so now we've got like our cab area sorted out. And sorry, I hit E. Let's redo that. I'm going to hit E to extract. And it should be an up and down axis. And just make sure it went straight up and down like that. You're not off to one side or the other now. And you're just going to have to guess at it. The more you make, the easier it's going to get, the better you're going to get at guessing at these things. So next, we're going to do it on the front end. We're going to hit E again. And go past the front tire a bit. E again. And past the back tire a bit. We're going to go a little farther than you're probably thinking we need, because we're going to have to make wheel wells, and they're going to have to be cut out of this. Now, if you don't like where the car's position is, you can go to this in non-edit mode and just move it where you want. Maybe you want it like this. Maybe you want more front end and less back end. Alright. So again, we're just going to move this up now. We're going to hit Control R right down the middle. And this is a technique I learned watching other videos, and I really like it. So I'm going to switch to faces. Now that we drove that line down the middle of the car, it's going to be super easy to delete half of it. And why we're going to do this is because we're going to be able to shape one side of the car and just mirror it on the other side later. Now there's a couple ways you can do this, but let's start off with a few, and we'll just show you guys what the possibilities are. Really, we can do this, right? Go over to, stay in that mode, and we're going to hit Control B to drag this edge where we want. And you're probably thinking, well, that doesn't look very good. Go down to the bevel. And this is where it goes from either low poly to high poly, depending on segments and things like that. It's going to have a low poly look or a higher poly look. And you can see it shapes the front end pretty good. But if you go back and do this now that we've added the other ones, it's going to give you a smoother shape. It's a little different anyways. Maybe you don't like that shape. Maybe that's not what you're looking for. Maybe you want to do part at a time. Maybe you'd like to do all edges at one time and make a smooth car together. Let's try this. Shift, left click all these edges, but none on the inside, because you don't want a shape towards the middle. If you change the shape towards the middle, it's going to mess the whole thing up when you try to mirror it. So we'll hit Control B again, drag it out, and as you can see, the whole kind of car takes a shape together this way. But you can see our cab's a little too high for what we have going on. So maybe we'll do that for now. You're probably thinking, well, can't we fix the cab? Yes, let's go back. No, you know what? Let's not go back. Let's do it this way. Highlight faces by clicking left, and then Control left click, Control left click, Control left click, Control left click, Control. And we're going to highlight this whole thing. Once it's all highlighted, we're going to do this. Now it's looking pretty carish, isn't it? We're going to grab this edge under here. Go to edges, sorry. I clicked on the wrong one. And then we're going to walk that one back until it's pretty straight. And we're going to grab that one, and we're going to walk. Oh, went a little far on that. Walk it back as well until it's pretty straight. And while we're going to do this, if you'd like to make separating doors, I'm not sure if you'd want that in your car. Some people don't need their doors open, others do. But you have the option now. Okay, so we are going to also, while we're here, we're going to hit Control R, and we are going to make a driver door. Probably about there. Alright, switch to faces. Click 1, click 2, and we're going to hit I. As you can see, these two are stuck together, and we don't want that. So we'll hit I again. That's going to separate them. Now these are going to be windows, so you're going to want to just make them a little smaller than the outside. Let's get a little over there so we can see a little better. And now we're going to hit E. And we're just going to go in just a hair. And now we have some windows. You can see they set in. We can set these to transparent if we want to have clear windows. And I now have a pretty good window shape. And alright. Ooh, we missed an edge back on here. Look at that. That does not look good. Let's see how far we can go back. Might not be able to fix it. That's the one thing with Blender, is there is a lot of going back, but sometimes it's just still not enough. And you can't get back far enough to fix your mistakes. Let's see. It's going to be a close one. Oh, we did. We got back far enough. I missed this edge here. Alright. And sorry about that, guys. I know you don't want to wait around while I'm fixing things. Let's get it done quick here. Alright. Fix those edges again. It just goes to show too, you could be making these things forever. You're still going to make these little mistakes. Sometimes you're going to have to scrap your whole project because you just can't go back far enough to fix them until you spot them. It's not a big deal, and the more practice you get, the better you're going to get. We got our basic car shape back again. We're going to Control R, that line down the middle. And then we're going to stop when we think it's good. I think that's about good. Go back to faces. Click these two. I. Alright, it did what we wanted this time. And then E. And we got it. We're back. Alright. Now, probably the next thing we want to do is we're going to boolean out some tires, because if we add certain things to this, once you boolean, it's going to remove those things, and we don't want to have that happen to us. So we will go ahead and we'll pull up a cylinder, or R90Y. You got to click it after you do R90Y, otherwise it's going to keep moving on you. We'll S it to scale it. We'll move it in. And it should be already just bigger than the tire. Maybe we'll go a little less than that. Alright. Now let's scale it that way, depending how deep you want your wheel wells to be. I assume not too deep. And now we're going to Shift D, make our second one by matching it up with the wheel as best as we can. Pretty important that you get them kind of centered, otherwise it's not going to look great. So take these, we'll move them to where we think we're going to want our wheels to sit into the car. It does seem a little high now, doesn't it? Let's see. You know what, let's do it and see what it looks like. Sorry. Left click, shift, left click, shift, left click, object, bool tool, difference. Now we have our wheel wells cut out for the car. Let's see how it looks. Drag it down. It's looking pretty good, I'd say. Looks like a car, a little gap underneath, not too much. You can move them around to kind of get a better look of whatever you're going for. Alright, and we will go ahead now and mirror this thing. So making sure that you're in the right mode. And you can see this is edit mode. When you're out of edit mode, it's just this. We'll go over here and we will mirror. And then we'll go ahead and apply. And we have one wide little car. A little wide. I kind of like it though. Alright, so let's fix this up now. Click off everything. Go to edges. Click this edge. Control. Left click. Control. Left click. Control. Left click. Sometimes that goes wrong, but usually it'll follow the easiest path, which is usually what you're looking to do. So what we're going to do is dissolve these edges, so they just disappear into the framework, basically. It's a better look for our car. We are going to bool another thing, so let's change back out of edit mode, Shift A, and go ahead and make a cube. Pull your cube out. This is going to depend on your taste. I'm going to select edges. Click this edge, oops. I had control instead of shift. So just these 4 edges, that's it. Control B. Flip back to the other mode out of edit mode. Drag sideways. Find the shape you want. I think that's a bit too wide now, isn't it? Maybe before I bool this, I'm going to go ahead and click the car, flip to this mode, edit mode, hit Shift R, and drag this down here. And I imagine you can figure out why I'm doing this. I'm going to make lines for bumpers. And the reason I'm doing it now is I don't want other things to interfere with them, like lights and things like that. Or a boolean. I don't want the bool to be in the middle of it. So switch back to this mode. And we will shrink that just a hair to make sure we're good and away from the other thing. Alright. Pull it out to make sure our edges are clear. And we're going to keep clicked on it and then shift click the car. We're going to go to object. We're going to, whoa, wait a second. Let's go back, click this, shift D. We're going to need an extra one of these to fix what we booled out of here. So there. Click that, shift click the car, objective, bool tool, difference. So now we have that hole where that was. We're going to go ahead and click the face behind it and then delete face. Alright, and then we're going to take this and we're going to shift D it, and then we're going to drag it this way. We're going to shrink it this way, and we're going to shrink it this way. Let's do that. That's a little different, eh? And this is going to be the grille that I make for this car. And granted, it's a little different, but just what I chose. I chose to make this. There's good airflow into the engine. Alright, and we want to just join that to the car now. So we will shift to the car and then Control J. And that's all one now. Start working on other things. Okay, let's do our bumpers. We're going to left click that. Oh, let's make sure we're clicked off everything else. So left click, Control left click, Shift left click, Control left click, Shift left click, Control left click. Oh no, that went wrong. See, it'll always kind of follow the easiest path, and that's not always going to be what you want, but most of the time it is. So what we're going to do now is hit E. It is coming out the wrong way, so we're going to hit Y, and that should be the right way. Just leave a little gap, and that's going to be our bumper. Alright, let's do the back one. And Control left click, Shift left click, Control left click. And this one went wrong last time. We'll Shift left click, Shift left click, Shift left click, Shift left click. You get the idea. And E, and it's on the wrong axis. Not too much, just a little. Alright, we've got a car with a grille and a bumper now. We got tires, we are well on our way to importing. Remember, you can scale this different once you bring it into Blender, or from Blender to Unreal too, if you need it to be less wide or more long. You just need to scale the frame together with the car. And then scale the tires separately after. Alright, so we'll go ahead and finish up a few more things and then we'll get to coloring after, but we'll do that in the next video. So we're going to grab the front face here, this front face, and we're going to hit I. Go in a little bit, we're going to change the shape of that with the scaler. Okay, and now we're going to hit E. And we have ourselves some lights. Now you might want to make something else, a different style, and attach it, or you may want to use two of these. It's all kind of up to you. But we'll do it the same on the back. For our tail lights, I got two different ones here. There we go. I go down a little bit. Our scaler, bring this up just a hair, and E to go in. Not too much, just enough to know that's a light. So we got lights, we got windows mostly, and bumpers. So let's do our front windshield and our back windshield and we'll be done for the day. This is going to depend on how you feel. I like nice big windscreen in games, especially if you're going to be looking through the windshield in game. So I'm going to hit I. We want these to stay attached, so drag them all the way out again and hit I if it didn't attach for you. And just a little bit. Then just a little bit. These windshields and back windows do not go in as much as side windows do. They're more of a smooth aerodynamic thing. So we're going to hit I back here. Not too much. It's going to look kind of silly if we go too much. just a little bit again. Alright, and now we have front windows, back windows, side windows, everything we can imagine. We'll do one last thing, and then we'll come back for coloring in our last video. Shift A, we'll go ahead and make a cube, and what I'm going to do is make a door handle out of this cube. So, I'll shrink it down, shrink it down. Alright, and we are almost there. A little too wide. That's the wrong one. Okay, trying to position it where you think it would look good on your door. Maybe you don't want a door handle, maybe you want to do this just slightly different. That's fine too. We all got to find our own ways to do things. So we're going to Shift D that. We are going to find this, and we are going to minus that. We're going to highlight both, and then the car, and then Control J. And it is all one. Alright, and we have our low poly car. Well, we'll be back on our next video for color.